Okay, so today we're talking about a show that revolutionized the superhero genre on TV, on OTT. A show that was a perfect contrast to how colorful the Marvel Cinematic Universe was. A show that had 3 seasons and also created a universe of its own on Netflix. And of course, became a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe later. He's a very good lawyer. We're talking about the first season of Daredevil today. Welcome to Binge Watch. I'm your host, Bhaarat. And it's popcorn time. Okay, so this is not the first time that we've had Daredevil being portrayed on the big screen or the small screen. We, of course, had Ben Affleck playing Daredevil in his very own movie. And now we, of course, had Charlie Cox making Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, his very own. Well, the show has been created by Drew Goddard and has been based on the comics made by Stan Lee and Bill Everett. And let's talk about the plot of Daredevil Season 1. Well, Daredevil Season 1 follows Matt Murdock, played by Charlie Cox, a blind lawyer by day who combats crime as the masked vigilante Daredevil by night in New York City's Hell's Kitchen. Blinded as a young boy in a tragic accident, Murdock's other senses are heightened to superhuman levels. As he establishes his law practice with his friend Foggy Nelson, Murdock confronts the criminal underworld led by the enigmatic Wilson Fisk, which is of course played by Vincent D'Onofrio, striving to bring justice to his community. Well, it's time for fun facts right here on Binge Watch, and I'm going to be sharing some really interesting fun facts pertaining to Season 1 of Daredevil. Well, we all love Charlie Cox's portrayal of Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil. He actually consulted the American Foundation for the Blind, and he even won a Helen Keller Award for the same. And we all love Vincent D'Onofrio's portrayal as Wilson Fisk, aka the Kingpin. And what if I tell you he gained 30 pounds for the same? He was also seen in a movie directed by our very own Vidhu Vinod Chopra, which is called The Broken Horses. And there's actually a clip of him which has gone viral where he's dancing to a song that's essentially a Bollywood song. Well, the third fun fact being that Daredevil Season 1 was so critically acclaimed that it got 99% ratings on Rotten Tomatoes when it premiered, and it's one of the most critically acclaimed superhero shows of all time. Well, we are so happy that Daredevil Born Again has premiered on Disney Plus across the world and Jio Hotstar here in India, and it's so cool to see this wonderful show and the wonderful characters back after 10 years. Well, let's talk about main character from Season 1. Well, the main character for me has to be Matt Murdock. Well, Matt Murdock in Daredevil Season 1 is like the ultimate morally conflicted guy who's trying to juggle his personal life with being a vigilante. He's a blind lawyer by day, Daredevil by night, and honestly, he's just out here trying to do the right thing, even if it means breaking a few rules. In short, Matt's a guy who's out here trying to save the world, but he's also struggling with his own demons. Now that we've spoken about the main character, let's talk about the standout roles from Daredevil Season 1. Well, now that we've spoken about Daredevil, how can we not talk about the Kingpin? Of course, played wonderfully by the legend Vincent D'Onofrio. He plays Wilson Fisk so wonderfully, and let's talk about his character. Well, Fisk is the big bad, but he's not just some typical villain. He's a complex guy who genuinely thinks he's doing good for Hell's Kitchen, even if he's wrecking stuff to do it. Vincent D'Onofrio's performance makes him feel like a human, not just a monster. His relationship with Vanessa also shows a more vulnerable side of him, which is honestly kind of wild for a dude who's just known for wrecking everything in his path. Well, the second character for me has to be the role of Karen Page, of course, played wonderfully by Deborah Ann Wool, and let me tell you why. Well, Karen starts off looking like the classic damsel in distress, but quickly turns into a total powerhouse. She's not just a love interest, she becomes a key player in the story. Well, she's strong, curious, and determined to fight back against the corruption around her. Plus, she also brings a lot of emotional weight to the show, making you care about her journey. Okay, so the third standout role from Daredevil Season 1 has to be the role of Foggy Nelson, and let me tell you why. Well, Foggy's the one who keeps the good vibes going when Matt gets too dark and broody. He's the comic relief, but also the kind of moral center, making sure Matt doesn't completely lose it. Well, he's really loyal, and his friendship with Matt is one of the show's best relationships. Okay, it's time for highlights right here on Binge Watch, and I have to tell you my favorite moment from Daredevil Season 1. Of course, the iconic hallway fight scene where we have Daredevil trying to rescue a young boy who's of course kidnapped by a group of thugs. This whole scene is shot in one take and it's so brilliantly executed. The use of lighting, the use of camera work, and the way the whole fight choreography has taken place is absolutely exceptional. So I would really urge for you to go and check it out. It's of course a part of episode 2 Cut Man, and well, that's the highlight for me from Daredevil Season 1. Okay, so if you like this, what can you watch? I would really urge for you to go and watch Daredevil Born Again. It's so wonderful to see the characters of the show back after 10 years, ever since the first season release, which we were talking about today. And the 2 episodes that have released so far have got a wonderful response. You can, of course, go and check it out on Disney Plus worldwide and Jio Hotstar here in India. Well, I'm so excited for the further episodes that are yet to come for this wonderful show. And well, that brings us to the end of today's episode of Binge Watch. Do comment down what are your favorite moments from Daredevil Season 1. Would you want us to cover further seasons of Daredevil or any other show or movie series? We'd love to do that. We're reading your comments. Do like this video so that the algorithm pushes it further. Share this video with family and friends, and I'll see you in the next episode of Binge Watch. Bye-bye.
94.3 Radio 1.